no more room in hell. The dead will walk the earth.
Yo yo, guy faces and soldier girl face. Yeah, we look at our analytics, and we know that you're out there, that one solitary girl that watches guitar shows. So, welcome back to new guys who've never checked us out before. Welcome to the channel. Very honest, balls out. We haven't got anyone to please. It's all about what the kit's about. So it's all good. What we've got today is something kind of special. It's kind of like a massive fat dream rig without the dream rig guitar. So we're not using a line 6 guitar, we're using Ibanez. But we are using all line 6 to amplify and affect our tone. We are using a stereo DT25 rig. So we've got on the right side, we have got line 6's representation of a Supro, or Super O as it's called, and that's running into a Marshall 2B12. Then we've got the HD500, which is controlling all of the EQ options, all of the amp options, and all of the effects, delays, and that's all running through one cable. These linked together with line 6 link. Absolutely amazing. I'm running one cable out of my guitar into the HD500. The HD500 is running one cable out of that into the back of one cabinet, and that's daisy chained into the other HD500 or DT25. Blinding rig. This guy is running a Gib tone into 8 ohm both cabs into a 4x12 Mesa running V30s. So we've got two very distinct sounding cabinets, but because the HD500 is really quite clever, it allows me to EQ each cabinet separately in a full stereo field. So I can have a really clean tone to get that pick attack, and I can get a really fat, gruesome grunge tone to give it that balls and feel, depending on what I want to do, and I can mix that in stereo, send the sound guy a stereo feed, he's happy as pig and shit, and so am I. So it's all good. A little bit of a bigger rig, everyone's kind of all up in Axe-Fx 2's face at the minute, saying it's the ultimate, and it most probably is, and it's very small, and it's compact, and it's nice, and it's a stereo rig. But a lot of people are also saying that you still don't get that in the room valve punch. You do out of these guys because they are true valve, or tube if you're from the US. So you will notice as well in this demonstration we're in a completely different world. Got some inspirational heroes behind me. We're actually in a place called the Engine Rooms over in Skelmersdale in Lancashire, or Lanarkshire if you're from America. So we're going to go through some tones. Delays are running in stereo, so it sounds good. Dot to 8, it's also sound good. Massive tones. And we're going to run through some cleans to see how that sounds. There's also going to be some sound bites recorded through Logic just to definitely clarify that left and right separation for you, because again we're in quite an ambient room today. So this is how it sounds. So, very smooth, very warm, even though it's quite attacky, because I like quite an attacky clean tone. It's big, it's ballsy in it, Bib, you know what I mean?
Sounds great.
Very full, and we are in a big empty room today. Got like a radio show thing tonight, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to get drunk. Yeah. So yeah, it's anal phlegm producing. That's a good or a bad thing. Good for me, a little bit moist. Brilliant sounding rig. This all comes in at about the same price as an Axe-Fx unit, without the power amp, without the powered speakers and all that. And that's for the two heads, the HD500 and possibly the cabs, depending on if you do your homework right. Obviously that's not brand spanking new prices. I think you're running about £600 per head. So the HD500 is doing everything, completely running the kit. Really dynamic, really fat sound tones. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kick in what Line 6C is a tube screamer. Now we might get some guys commenting, and please do, that a tube screamer doesn't sound like a tube screamer, and that Supro doesn't sound like a Supro. That's fine. What Line 6 give you, or what I feel Line 6 give you, is an EQ palette of many amps. So you will get the tone you want. So a lot of guys kind of saying that the HD range sounds better without the HD500 as well. So the DT range sounds better without the HD500. So we're going to do a 4 cable method kind of approach in a bit and see how they marry up. So let's just kick in a tube screamer anyway and kind of hear the dynamics of this sound. So again, it can be really quite hairy if we dig in. So it works, it feels, and the most important thing, it feels like a valve amp. It doesn't, and it sounds really warm and good and wholesome. So what we're going to do now is going to kick into an overdrive sound. So this is now a tread plate with a Soldano. So I've got a tread plate on the right and a Soldano on the left. I'm dripping, I'm soaking wet. So that's it guys, that's the HD500 power and everything, line 6 link, 3 cables pretty much. I've got a guitar lead into the HD500, line 6 link out to one head, line 6 link XLR cable into the other head, and then my speaker cables. Pretty easy rig really, yeah. So check it out. We're going to go now, swap over, show you how to connect up to the 4 cable method, and then we're going to try and run a mono rig and see how that sounds, how we kind of may gain a little bit more drive, a little bit more fullness when you just use a HD25, and that's my take on it. But running a HD500, it sounds maybe a little bit different, but it's so usable, and the fact that you can change everything on the fly is just absolutely amazing. Check out the other videos in the range. I think we've done 3 so far. This is 4. DT25 4 cable method. See what we've done there. Right, so check out the next section. So first things first, we're going to go guitar out to guitar in on the HD500. Right, now we're going to go from effects send to the front of the DT25. So from the effects send of the amp, we're going to be returning to the effects return left mono. And last one is the left 1/4 inch jack out, left mono, will go to your return of your amp, power amp. So after a sweaty battle with 4 cables, God, there is a lot to be said for the Line 6 link. We are now up and running with the DT25 supplying all of the pre and post gain sounds, and the DT25 is now just a 4 cable method link. So we've got a little bit of gain in the front, we can put a little bit of EQ and delay and whatever effects we want in the chain. So we are now running on channel A and channel B on the DT25, channel B being our big ballsy fat tone, channel E being our nice and clean tone. We've instantly noticed there's a bit more oomph to the tone. We've had to roll the bass really low on the amp, so it kind of does react differently, it EQs differently. So again, that's something to take note when you do put this DT25 rig in. So here's the same kind of A majory kind of riff we were playing with before on the clean channel, channel A, a little bit of delay, that type of deal. So as you can see now that we're in a mono rig again, because we can run stereo with the 4 cable method, but I've sweated enough to get that done. So now we're going to look and kick in the drive. And so again, I'm not using the pedal now for drive, I'm using the amp. So again, even in the room, it feels just a little bit punchy, a little bit more valve-like, I imagine. And the effects are doing quite a good job of keeping up. It sounds like a good effects pedal. Right, so now I'm going to go back to the clean channel, put a bit of like pre-gain distortion on there. Again with the tube screamer, so kind of sounds a little bit ballsier, a little bit more powerful, but it loses the kind of high-end sparkle. And that's about it, man. I've played about with this and I've tried to get the sounds as close as I possibly can. And even if I emulate the same amp on topology 1 and the same amp on topology 4 that it claims in the Line 6 manual, I still get a differential in tone. You can tweak though, man, it's a tweaker's dream, so keep going with it. I'm sure you're going to find either a very close simile or you're going to find something you like just as much, but it's just going to have a slightly different sound. I think it sounds more hi-fi, doesn't it, through the HD500?
It does, it sounds more emulated, if that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like, you know what I mean, you've got a bit of post-processing on it, whereas the amp itself just sounds like a raw amp. But taking this as a kind of just taking the HD500 as a standalone effects unit, it sounds really, really good, and the 4 cable method means that you can use your favourite boutique amp and just run this as an effects unit. I know a lot of guys are running like TC Electronics stuff and Strymon and stuff like that. Maybe you don't have to go out and spend that much money. Try a HD500 and see if you can get away with it. Very good, very user friendly, and there's a lot of kind of DSP memory in there, so every effect will do. So check it out, guys, and thanks for watching the DT25 roundup.
Well, stop.